Hello, Aries. Thank you so much for being here, you guys. All right, Aries, don't beat yourself up over the fact that you didn't exactly make the transition that you were wanting to. I think that, though, has to do with things that are beyond your control. But there is this need to make a transition. But if you've made a mistake and that's preventing you from making a shift in your life, again, beating yourself up is not going to help. So follow your own good advice, trust yourself, you know what is best for you, and then Between Worlds. Between Worlds talks about how you're not fully out of one situation and into another. So I look at that and I think for a lot of you, you're trying to come out of that gray area in your life and move into a place where, you feel more fully alive, so to speak. But with follow your own good advice, the very first thing that it talks about is harsh self-judgment for a mistake or an error made. It also talks about unmet personal expectations. You have to detach yourself from the expectations that you may have been holding yourself to, because maybe that's not going to work moving forward. But clearly here, you're wanting to make a big transition in your life that is going to be better than where you have been. But you're not going to be able to find a practical solution to making this transition if you are beating yourself up over what you feel like you can't do. You know what's right for you. I mean, clearly here with this card showing up. But what you thought was right for you before clearly isn't. So things have changed in a big way, I think, for a lot of you. But you can't keep playing around with this. I feel like it's important now that you fully make this transition. Whether it's, making a big transition with relationships, your career, your health, whatever it is. But you have to do it now. Now, this I found interesting because this may be the reason why, though, the transition hasn't fully been made. Something needed to close itself out here before, you could move on. The problem is that I think that you were holding yourself to an expectation of things are going to work. Maybe it wasn't meant to work that way, right? So the full moon in Cancer, a personal issue reaches resolution, which is great. But what I found interesting is everything that this card talks about. It's one thing to say that your personal issues are coming to a close, but it's another thing entirely to have to deal with the aftermath of it. Okay? Now, the first part of it, though, says it may be best to move towards what you want in a sideways manner. I just see all the Aries out there sidestepping toward it. Just a little bit closer, sidestep. A little bit closer, sidestep. It's almost like the Seven of Swords, but not with evil intent. But being direct is not going to get you what you want this time. Now, here's the other parts of this, though, that I feel like are a part of the problem in your inability to make this life transition, right? So meditate to soothe heightened emotions. Don't be clingy. Stop sulking. And have you had enough family time lately? So clearly there's a need to reach out to family and spend time with your family. But clingy, heightened emotions, I'm sorry, are we doing an Aries reading here? That's the first thing that I said when I seen that. Like, no, I don't think you understand who we're talking about here. But apparently, whatever is coming to a resolution, it's not that easy for you to let go of, which is so against your own nature. So this is a big issue for you. And it's important for you to know that it's coming to a resolution. But more importantly, whatever it is that you're wanting after this closes, Aries. I had a feeling this one was going to be good. So with the Tower being where you are coming from, apparently something drastic has happened in your life that has changed everything. Everything's crashing down here, but the dust is settling, and what you're seeing through the dust is the Ace of Cups. Good Christ. That's good. That is really good. Beautiful. I rarely ever get to see this as the overall. This is saying that you're going to have an opportunity here that's going to bring you a lot of happiness, emotional fulfillment. With the way that you're coming out on this, yeah, for some of you, it could be new love. or it could be renewing love for someone. Now, with the Seven of Pentacles, this may have been one of those situations where you were looking at it going, well, you know, really, what can I expect to have? You know, this, I think, is you reevaluating what could potentially grow out of this opportunity. And it makes me wonder if you're not wanting to take an opportunity here that you know is open to you, but in the past you may have looked at it like it's not going to give you the growth that you want. But the thing is we haven't seen everything yet with the Seven of Pentacles, right? So maybe in the past it wasn't giving you the kind of growth that you needed, but here this opportunity is right in front of you. And with the Chariot, man, full on, like full on. And I kind of go back to this, be careful about direct action, right? We have to sidestep into this. But with the Chariot, we could definitely be talking about a new opportunity that's going to bring you a lot of happiness, where you're going to actually physically move with the Chariot. We could be talking about traveling. But it's really about self-control, willpower and self-control. That's where that sense of victory and momentum comes from. But this is coming from a place where you have been alone with the Hermit. I think that you have been used to kind of like doing things on your own. But I also think that this is really about the deeper soul searching. And I think that you have been in a place where now you understand. You understand that that Seven of Pentacles wasn't all there was to see. You know, maybe there is more potential with this. So, and it's a big thing in your life. If you make a move on this, you know that this is going to be a very big thing, but you're coming from a place of like purity, big time, emotional purity. Now with the Page of Cups, this could be, you know, I've looked at everything that I have in my life. I've already made an assessment. I know what I want. I know what's going to grow for me. I know what's not. And you're full on forward and kind of doing things on your own. That Page of Cups may come out of nowhere like, what? Wait a minute. This could be somebody offering something to you. The Ace of Cups here, specifically. New love, communication of new love. This may be you communicating that and wanting to take this opportunity. But what I find interesting is, you know, the other cards that are kind of involved with this situation. I think that you've left it alone. I think this was something that you left alone. And now it's coming back in a way that I think that you're starting to understand what you didn't really see before with the High Priestess. But because the King of Swords is your best path to follow with this situation, I look at that and I think it's not about detaching your emotions. It's about, you know, being, I think, more open to the emotions that may be new to you or maybe being expressed to you. But I also look at this King of Swords as somebody who's doing research. You know, and also being very logical about the action that's kind of being taken toward this. This may be one of those things where, you know, and again, whether you're male or female here, where you need to find out some more information, but it's not a Page of Swords type of way. But it's in order for you to make an informed decision about how to handle this Ace of Cups. The High Priestess in terms of hopes and fears. Now the fear there would be that your intuition is wrong and that you don't really know everything, because I look at you wanting to learn more about what the situation is first. Because you in the present moment look like you're fine. You're right on track. You've clearly reevaluated everything in your life. But when it comes to this one particular opportunity, this is different. I think that you need more information. You need more knowledge. And that is the only way that you're going to be able to make a decision that is well informed. But I kind of go back to that High Priestess and think that maybe this is a situation that you've been observing and haven't really gotten all the details about it. And that may be where the fear is coming through, where you're going to have to trust what you know intuitively to move forward on this. But I look at this as either it's going to be about you or somebody else that you're dealing with here that is making this offer here. And I do think that for a lot of you, it is going to have to do with love or the renewal of love here, or an emotional connection. But somebody is definitely communicating the way that they feel with this Page of Cups. With the Three of Cups coming out, this may be one of those things where it's... I don't feel like we're talking about third-party situations here, but even if there is a third-party situation, I think that that may be the information that you're needing to know about here before you actually make an informed choice about whether or not this is something that you feel is going to grow. Because, like I said, in the past, it's like you're looking at it like, no. And you're in a place where you're okay. But I also think that with the Hermit, right, the deeper soul searching is telling you that the truth is that there is more growth to be seen with this. Now, the Three of Cups can suggest an emotional affair. It could be about celebration and support. It could be that, you know, you feel young again here with the Page of Cups. I don't think that this is about being emotionally naive. I feel the purity with it. And that is because of the Ace of Cups. Okay, so... and here is where I think that the High Priestess is kind of like coming into play with this. So first of all, let's talk about the Magician, right? Manifesting that cool ass shit. Hell yeah. Having the ability to make this happen, which I think that a lot of you know right now that this opportunity is there for you in a way where you can make something happen with this if you wanted to. Okay? But again, we're talking about information here with the Knight of Swords. And I think that with the Chariot and looking at the Knight of Swords, we don't want to be too hasty, especially if your life is on track right now or you feel like you're in a good place and things are going in the right direction. But if we're talking about self-control, it may be that you're looking at this going, I need to have a little bit more self-control and not be too hasty because information and truth is required here, especially with that King of Swords. But I also look at that as possibly information that may be coming directly to you that may be kind of like clearing up what is going on with your hopes and fears surrounding the High Priestess, where you may have been observing a situation and not wanting to act in a way where your intuition would be leading you down a bad path, right? That would be the fear behind that. But it looks like with the Knight of Swords, you have something directly being communicated to you, not so much in a harsh way, but I think in terms of your own actions, like I said, it's, you know, self-control here, but it's everything is fast-paced. Now, with the Queen of Pentacles and looking at the Page of Cups, I think that a lot of you may be in a place where it's not so much that, you know, you don't want to take advantage of this opportunity, but I think that it's not like, how do I put this? Like, I don't really need to have this person in this way, but I don't want to let them go either. But I look at the Queen of Pentacles in terms of you, and, you know, again, whether you're male or female here, this is, I can take care of myself. Now, it may be, though, that the communication that's coming through is letting you know that, you know, somebody is in a place where they're only, you know, focused on themselves right now. You know, but this isn't a no, though. I just think that if we're building a relationship here with somebody, it's happening in a very different way than what you expected. I think it's more of friendship here first before we start to actually realize this Ace of Cups. But I think that the emotions between you and another person are building here. But if we are talking about the other person, whether they're male or female with the Queen of Pentacles, they may be in a place where they're more concerned about, like, taking care of themselves. Or, like I said, that could be you. But whatever it is that needs to be cleared up, you definitely have this communication that's coming through. But regardless of that, I think that you knew from the get-go that this was an opportunity you could have taken and made the most of. But I don't think that any of this is bad. I just think that things are going in a very different direction here with the Three of Cups coming out. You know, now definitely this could be the cackling hen syndrome, but I don't really see that. And even if people are talking, I think that you're coming from a place of, well, fuck them, let them talk. Give them something to talk about, Aries. There you go. But I kind of feel like for a lot of you, that Queen of Pentacles may be you, just because you're trying to make a transition in your life right now. You know, especially for those of you who are single, I don't know that a relationship is something that you actually want to get involved with, although the Three of Cups, though, could show like it building toward that. It's weird. It feels like it's switched, like the Three of Cups comes first and then you have the Two. You know, especially if you're on the fast track here in your own life where you're getting things together. So you need to be confident in order for things to flourish, but you have to come from a place of balance. And that may be why we're not, you know, just jumping into a new relationship here. And I think that that's what that's going to be for some of you. And a lot of you may be in this place because you've made or have had to make, you know, a really difficult transition. But the thing is, there's still a part of you stuck in the old world, so to speak, with between worlds being there. You know, but that situation is coming to a close, though. And we can't cling to it, right? And you can't beat yourself up over the fact that maybe things didn't exactly work out the way that you wanted them to. And then, I love you. These are very important words. Here's the thing. When it comes to saying I love you to someone, especially in a relationship, that can be like a scary thing. It's a little sketchy, right? But I think that it's important for you to know that you can say I love you to somebody without any expectations, right? So like I tell people, I love them all the time. Because the thing is from my perspective, I look at it as we're all connected anyway. Why would I not love another human being, right? I am them, they are me. But I think that in terms of you, though, when it comes to saying I love you to somebody, you're needing to find something out, right? Ask for help. Ask for information. You know, but if somebody is helping you with a situation, especially friends here, with that Three of Cups coming out, it's important that they know that you love them and appreciate them, right? But some of you, it may not be that easy, right? You may be asking for some spiritual support. Please tell me how the hell I'm supposed to say this to this person, right? But I think that this is moving in a different direction that is actually better than most readings that I see. I almost think that this is the right way to do that this time. Instead of just full force into a relationship, maybe we just need to chill. You know? Sidestep it, Aries. Sidestep in there. But I would say that all of this looks good. Just don't think that you have seen everything that could potentially grow out of this situation. There is more to be seen here.